Welcome back to The Point. Our next guest is the only person who has announced and filed paperwork to run for Cedar Rapids mayor. We welcome Ron Corbett to The Point. Thank you so much for being with us today. You have come out strong in your announcement that you want to run for mayor of Cedar Rapids, a city recovering from the worst natural disaster in the state's history, going through some economic hard times with different manufacturing companies leaving and layoffs sporadically here and there. Why would you choose a time like this to take over something that is going through a rough period?
Well, that is my motivation. I think right now is an ideal time to get in because people are hurting from losses of jobs. Obviously, the city needs to recover from this flood, and that's a motivating factor and inspires me to get back in to elected life and see if I can't help this community move forward.
And certainly get back in is the right term. People who do not know, you were with the State House, you were Speaker of the House for a time, as well as then you left that position and became the head of the Cedar Rapids Area Chamber of Commerce, then left that position and work now at a trucking company as a vice president, CRST. You haven't run for office in 11 years, and you have a website up, you're on Twitter, you're doing all of the things sort of that Obama did, to reach out to the younger people, and now candidates all over the place are doing it. So you're full court press on this effort.
Well, I am. I'm not trying to be like President Obama, but obviously he did make a huge impact using technology in his election, and so I admired what he was able to do, building together a coalition. Now, whether some of those same tactics will work here at a local level remains to be seen, but my intent is to go out and church in all quadrants of the city. I'll do it the old-fashioned way, knocking on doors and having neighborhood meetings, but I also want to use technology, and hopefully I can inspire the younger generation as the president did in this last election.
When you were at the helm at the chamber, you were the leader in large part of wanting to change the way that Cedar Rapids did government, from the commission form to the council form with a weak mayor system. When I say weak mayor, it means the mayor's part-time like the rest of council. Right. And do you still feel, even after a natural disaster, do you still feel that that is the best form of government for the city?
Yes, I do. And what people have to remember, that it was tried several other times to change and it was failed. We were able to put together a unique coalition of bipartisan coalition of Republicans and Democrats, business, labor, nonprofits, and everybody came together. Close to 70% of the people voted for that change. Their frustration of full-time politicians just working to protect their job was one of the reasons that change went through several years ago. So certainly there was a lot of excitement about the new form of government, but I think what's happened is we've seen a lot of indecision and a lot of delays and just a lack of leadership from the city council since the flood, and people are very frustrated over that.
A number of people are frustrated, but a number of people are saying it's so nice they want to take a step back. They don't just want to charge ahead and make a decision without getting the community behind them by having, they're having a lot of discussions, inviting people to share what they want the neighborhoods to look like and things of that nature. So are you saying under your leadership it would be decisions? I'm making a decision and I'm going to stick with it, or are you going to continue the idea of everybody come to the table, no matter who you are, to try to figure this out?
Well, certainly, one of the reasons I have my website is to have a community discussion. I mean, running for office isn't a monologue, it's a dialogue. You can certainly bring people together and get their views, but eventually decisions have to be made. I mean, a perfect example is just the Veterans Memorial Building. It's finally determined that the city is the applicant, not the Veterans Commission. Okay, there was some delay about that. Now it's time for the city to draw down that federal FEMA money to start repairing that building. It's just interesting, 300 yards just south of the city memorial building, the jail is being repaired. And who can forget that picture of the smoke billowing out of that lower level of the jail 9 months ago? It's etched in our minds permanently, but the sheriff and the Board of Supervisors tapped into the FEMA money. They've repaired the building. The prisoners are moving back, ironically, and the veterans have to wait. It's those type of delays. It's 9 months now, and now they want to do another 6 to 9 month study. we're going to miss another construction season.
And we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the reason why the county was so adamant about opening up that jail. It's a moneymaker for the county. Every year the jail is closed, the county taxpayers lose millions of dollars because they pay other counties to house their prisoners. So that's why it was priority number one. The City Hall, in the Veterans Memorial, it doesn't make any money for anybody, so they're,
Well, it does. There's some revenue generating opportunities for the Veterans Commission, but the county is also looking at moving back into their facility. The sheriff is also going to be releasing bids to go back into their facility. So I think other governments have certainly moved forward. The business community has. Smoothikoff's is back. Great America Leasing is back. Alliant is back. I mean, we see all these signs around the downtown saying, we're back. Why do those businesses hang those signs? Because they're proud that they are coming back, and we want our downtown to live again. It's interesting that this city council wants the downtown to live, but they don't want to live there.
They are considering this co-location idea, the city council has said, of possibly building a city hall that would also serve as the center area for education in Cedar Rapids. The Cedar Rapids School District would have its headquarters there, and they had invited the county. The county has since said, no thank you, we don't want to be a part of this at this stage. So you are not in favor of co-location.
If they want to continue to have their study, which obviously they're going to do, that shouldn't put on hold repairing the Veterans Memorial. The veterans deserve that. That building is a pride and joy to this community. Whether City Hall eventually moves back in there and the building department's in there, or the zoning department or some department is in there, it still needs to be repaired for the veterans and for this community.
How do you think, in general, flood cleanup is going as far as getting people who've abandoned their houses, getting that taken care of, getting people who are waiting for buyouts? People who are waiting for buyouts are tired of waiting for buyouts. What is your position on that situation?
Well, I think certainly there are a million flood stories. I've heard many throughout the months, and I've heard even more since announcing that I'm running for mayor. And there is a huge frustration. People feel like they're in limbo. I think initially, right after the flood, the cleanup, at least as the trash and debris was coming out to the curb, many people were doing that. The city did a good job of getting that cleaned up, but not everybody got their trash out because they were waiting to see what was going to happen. And you're starting to see that now in the spring. The trash piles are starting to build back up. So I would, hope that we would see the same type of pickup that we saw right after the flood.
We had City Council member Monica Vernon on this program right before the commercial break, and she talked about the flood CEO idea. I believe the official name is the flood recovery coordinator for the city. It's something they decided they do want to pursue. They do want to hire someone who will sort of oversee the flood recovery effort. You've publicly said that you do not support a flood CEO. Why is that?
Well, first of all, it should have been done 8 months ago. Second, who's asking for the flood CEO? Not the city council. It's the private sector. Rockwell, maybe a couple other large companies. Why are they even suggesting this? Well, they're suggesting it because of all the indecisions and delays within City Hall. Mm-hmm. It started off 100%. Business was going to support it. Now it's down to 80%. If you're going to bring somebody in, then it needs to be a long-term contract. Otherwise, it's just another consultant. And I don't know that the business community that has been pushing this is ready to make a 5-year commitment to fund something like this. And I'm really nervous that this is just going to fall back on the taxpayers to fund.